Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're turning our attention to some pretty potent ancient wisdom. We're diving into the book of Proverbs, specifically chapter 20. Our plan is to sift through these, timeless sayings, see what we can pull out about wisdom, character, navigating life, really. Get ready for maybe some surprising insights. Let's unpack this.
Yeah, Proverbs 20, it really jumps right in. Doesn't mince words about, well, common human issues. Starts straight off with warnings, like about wine or a strong drink. Calls getting caught up in that unwise. And also, the danger of provoking someone powerful, like a king. Very practical stuff, right away. How to avoid trouble.
It definitely sets a practical tone. Beware of the obvious hazards, but then it moves to something maybe a bit more subtle. Conflict. It says it's actually honorable to avoid strife.
Right.
While, a fool just dives into quarrels. That's interesting. Honor isn't about winning the fight necessarily.
Exactly. Reframes it. Strength as wise restraint,
Yeah.
self-management. And building on that, there's that stark contrast it draws between like diligence and laziness. That verse about the sluggard not plowing. So at harvest time, nothing.
Yeah.
It's a clear metaphor.
Yeah.
Inaction leads to, well, lack of reward.
Spells out the consequences, doesn't it? Procrastination costs you. And later, it hits even harder on that theme. Do not love sleep or you will grow poor.
Oh, yeah.
Stay awake and you will have food to spare. Just blunt economic reality tied to your habits.
Very direct. And this sort of moves us from those external actions maybe to the internal world. There's that fascinating line. The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters. But someone who understands draws them out.
That's a powerful image, deep waters.
Yeah, it suggests our motives, even our own, aren't always on the surface. It takes effort, discernment, maybe from others too, to really get what's driving us.
And that challenge of finding, real integrity comes up too. It follows that thought. Lamenting, many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find.
Right. It really underscores how rare true dependability might be.
The gap between what people say and what they do.
Exactly. Reputation versus reality. And the text insists character shows up in the small things, daily things, like honest business. It repeats that point about differing weights and differing measures.
Ah, yeah. The rigged scales.
The Lord detests them both. Repeating it really stresses how critical that seemingly minor ethic is.
Shows integrity is tested right there in the mundane. And it paints such a vivid picture of the outcome of dishonesty. Food gained by fraud tastes sweet.
That he ends up with a mouthful of gravel.
Whoa.
That's dark. The sweetness is temporary. The end is just gritty and bitter. And this idea that character is revealed, it's not just for adults. It notes even a child is known by his actions, by whether their conduct is pure and right.
So character traits showing up early through simple behavior. Okay, so looking at all this from Proverbs 20, we've got warnings on obvious dangers, the honor in avoiding fights.
The link between work and having enough.
Right. And the difficulty of understanding our own hearts, finding true faithfulness.
The importance of honesty in small details.
And character showing itself early.
And there's also that tension around planning, isn't there? It says, make plans by seeking advice. It definitely values wise planning, getting guidance.
Right. Plan your moves.
But then, almost right after, it adds a person's steps are directed. How then can anyone understand their own way?
So plan, yes, but
maybe realize it's not all in your control? Or fully understandable? Not fatalism, perhaps, but an acknowledgement of, other factors. A higher power, maybe.
That's a fascinating tension to hold. So what really stands out to you when you hear all this? Is it the hard truth about, sleep and poverty? Or that image of the deep heart?
Or maybe just that reminder about character being built in those small moments, like the honest weights.
Well, here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on, linked to knowing ourselves. Proverbs 20 also says, the lamp of the Lord searches the spirit of a man. It searches out his inmost being.
Yeah.
This ancient idea of a searching lamp, a divine light. What could that mean for how we think about self-awareness, about truth within ourselves today? Something to ponder until our next deep dive.